So this afternoon I'm just going to start with seeding, and to do a little bit before we actually seed on the compost, and choosing a compost or suitable compost depending on what you want to do. So for seeding I use the Classman seeding compost. It isn't rich in nutrients because the seed will have enough of a food store in itself to do it for a couple of weeks, so it doesn't need to be rich in nutrients. You just want it to basically be a suitable growing medium so that it can nourish it along until it's time to transplant either out into the garden or into a bigger pot. So the Classman seeding, it just has a really nice texture. It's quite fine. It doesn't dry out as quick as some of the other composts, which is really important for seeding. You don't want it to dry out on top. So that's what I would use to start my seeds. All my seeds are started in that. Now another compost that I use is the Living Green, which is an Irish product. It's from, I think it's made in Donegal. Now it's made from worm casting, so it would be a little richer than this, and it's suitable for basically just like, it's kind of like a multi-purpose compost. And it works quite well, but the downside to this compost is that it actually has a tendency to dry out quite quickly, and I just find that it's fine as a mix in a transplant. When I'm transplanting, I use it half of this and then half of my own garden compost. So when I'm potting on my tomatoes, which you can see down here, I will use a mix of the Living Green and my own garden compost. But for seeding then, it is really important to get one that has a good texture, that doesn't dry out really quickly. So yeah, before I actually demonstrate the seeding then, I just wanted to go through that. Then what I do is, depending on what you're seeding, you will choose an appropriate size seed tray. Again, you don't want, like for something like this, I would use these seed trays for if I was starting French beans, or if I wanted to start early peas, I would use the bigger module cells. But for something like a salad, rocket mizuna, any of the oriental salads, I use these small little seed trays. Now again, depending on how many you want to sow. For myself, I would do between 30 and 40 cells every 7 to 10 days, depending on the crop. So I have cut some of the bigger trays into small sections, and this works really well. So what I'll just start with here is, I'll just show you how I actually pack the seed tray. So you fill it up with compost, and then you go back through it and you just pack it in. Firm enough, but not too firm. And then I'll go back over the top of it again and just fill it up. Okay, because what you don't want is, if you don't firm it in, when you water it, it'll all drop down and then the seeds will move down. So you want the seeds to kind of sit where you put them, and then for when you put a little tiny bit on top, that the seeds just stay still. So I will just usually go through them with my fingertips and make a little well for the seed to sit in. Also, some people will water the compost before they put the seed in, but I find when you open a bag of compost, it's moist enough, and once you finish your day's seeding, you just fold up the bag and you keep the moisture in. And I would normally put the seed in, put a little bit of dust on top, and then I would water it afterwards. So this is just the basics before you actually put the seed in the pot, just to go through packing the seed tray, selecting your compost, and also choosing a size tray that suits what you want to do.